So if you have a belly pooch, it may not be because you are eating too many late night snacks, but it might actually be because of the structure of your body, maybe because of your spine, but it might also be because you're dealing with something called lower crossed syndrome. So recently, one of my friends sent me a video where somebody was giving exercises for that belly pooch that comes from lower crossed syndrome, and it was totally inaccurate. So they were talking about how oftentimes when we have this anterior tilt in our pelvis, it makes our belly pooch out. And I know this very well because I've had this my entire life. I have quite an anteriorly tilted pelvis. And in addition to that, I also have scoliosis, which actually, because of my curves, makes my stomach stick out even more. And over the years, having done Pilates for about 15 years, I have found a lot of ways to work with the muscles that cause this condition. So the number one reason why people would kind of have this bowing that happens in their back is because of a tight psoas. Your psoas attaches basically your spine to your hip. It's your primary hip flexor, so its job is to lift your leg. If it's tight, then it's going to be pulling your pelvis forward or anteriorly tilting your pelvis, which can cause more of that belly pooch. Another thing that can contribute to that is your hamstrings can be weak and your quads can also be tight. So when we think about muscles in a system, they can work like pulleys. If on one side the muscles are really tight, they're going to be pulling and tipping the pelvis over. On the other side, the muscles are weak, and in this case contributing to that pushing out of the stomach that's actually really coming from the position of the pelvis and the spine. And when I looked at the video, this guy was saying that this belly pooch that comes from the anteriorly tilted pelvis can be fixed with this one stretch, which is not true. It's actually the other way around. So if you have a posteriorly tilted pelvis where your pelvis is more tucked under, then that would be alleviated by doing this particular stretch. So in this video, he was recommending for the anteriorly tilted pelvis to do this stretch or figure 4 stretch. And this is a really great stretch for most people because most of us have a tight piriformis, but this is not going to fix lower crossed syndrome, which is not coming from tension in the back of your hip or the back of your thigh, but it's actually coming from the front of your hips, from your psoas. So I'm going to show you my favorite psoas stretch right now. So this is my favorite way to stretch a tight psoas, which can help to address the muscle imbalances that would be leading to having that anteriorly tilted pelvis, which could cause the belly to protrude. This is a nice passive way to stretch the psoas, so I'm not pushing myself into a deep hip flexor stretch, but I'm allowing gravity to do the work for me and allowing my thigh to just drop back into space. Taking some long, deep breaths here. And then I would do maybe 5 breaths and then switch and do that on the other side. You'll most likely notice that one side feels much tighter than the other side, and that has a lot to do with why you may also be potentially experiencing hip pain. If one psoas is tighter than the other, it's going to pull your pelvis out of alignment. So try that out. Let me know how it goes, how it feels in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.